The ego is a boy's best friend and a man's worst enemy. You know about the ego, right? Arguing on FaceTime for 2 hours just to say you won. Trying to appear healed instead of actually healing. Not being able to take others' advice, but still dishing it out. Seeing someone succeed and feeling bitter about it. Telling yourself you're so great that for a second you actually believe it. You got defensive, didn't you? That's your ego. Don't worry, you're not stuck. You're just addicted to feeling right. I too have an ego, but mine died and was reborn into something that aids me and is useful to my life. Let me tell you how. Now, what even is an ego? Thousands and thousands of years ago, we needed the ego. The ego protected us. Because thousands and thousands of years ago, we had to fit into a pack. We had to fit into the tribe. And if we didn't, we'd die. Bars. I didn't even mean to, but that shit just like happened. That shit's crazy. The ego developed to keep you congruent with the pack, to keep you on the same level, to keep you likable, to keep you generic, to keep you like them. So you weren't an outlier and you weren't kicked out. But now, that survival instinct doesn't fit the world anymore. And so through thousands of years of evolution, well, I guess millions of years of evolution, our egos developed to protect us. And that's why the ego is a kid's best friend. It protects them when they're still young and they can't go out on their own. However, we live in a completely different world now. You can go out on your own if you got balls, and you can be free, unlike anything that any of our ancestors could have ever imagined. And the ego is not fit for today's world. Similarly to how our fat stores are not optimal for all the processed and junk food that we have. And our dopamine systems are not meant for our overstimulating society. Now, the difference is those are external fixes that you have to do in your life. This is all internal. This is the war inside of you. So, I know what you're thinking. Who the fuck is this dude? Who is this poser? Hi, I'm Joseph Marrone, and I'm going to tell you why my ego is different. Most people's egos say, I'm awesome, I'm good, I got it, and that's it. Very surface level, you know? Mine says, I'm awesome, but I could be better. I'm good, but there's still more to learn. And I got it, if I genuinely do have it. But if I don't, I can also say that I don't got it. Most people's egos protect their current self. My ego projects my future self. That's the difference. Now, how does one go about acquiring such an ego? Step 1, blame yourself for everything. Now, I know what you're thinking. This guy's a fucking retard. But look, you blame yourself for everything, but you have to do it from a place of love, not hate. Disclaimer, I did not start blaming myself for everything through love until very, very recently. I got to this point mostly by doing it through hate, which isn't the right way to do it. It takes a lot longer that way. That's just the only way I knew up until pretty recently, where I would say I learned to love the world unconditionally, and that includes myself, right? And examples of how I blame myself for everything is I blame myself for watching porn, even though I didn't know any better in 5th grade. I blame myself for my heartbreaks because in some way, shape, or form, I put myself in that scenario where they could do that to me. Maybe I didn't know any better. Maybe I was naive. But I still went there of my own accord and was in that situation. I didn't read the signs. I could have done anything else. If I chose to do something different, talk to a different girl, or just not talk to them at all, the timeline would have shifted completely. And so, I have to blame myself for that. Blame myself for smoking weed and vaping too, and that came from a girl as well. I wanted to understand her, and so that's why I first initially smoked, and I got hooked. And I used it as a coping mechanism for life, right? And eventually, as time passed, I started being very introspective. But blaming yourself puts the power back in your hands. And as long as you're not doing it to guilt trip, it's not weakness, it's maturity. Step 2. You got to do it from love, not hate. I already basically touched on this. I basically jumped the gun. But I'll just give you an analogy instead. Pow! You just got blicked. Now, that's the metaphorical wound, just in case you didn't understand. Blaming yourself from hate is like digging the bullet out really slowly with shaky hands. It hurts, it stings, it takes longer. You feel like you're stuck in that moment longer. And eventually it comes out, but the scar is worse. It's deeper. You don't heal as well. Blaming yourself through love is like yoinking the bullet out really quick. Now your body heals faster. And even though it hurt a lot in that very second, you know that it was better for you in the long run. So it hurts, but it heals faster, cleaner, and stronger. Hate blame will teach you, but only so much. Love blame will free you. And always remember, the energy of love is stronger than the energy of hate. And when I went through this process, I started with hate blame. And it was like that for a long time. It wasn't till very recently that I truly became an unconditional lover of the world. So let's say the last 2 months, I can confidently say I've developed an unconditional love for the world and for everything, for myself, for this microphone, for you. But if you're a dude, no diddy. It doesn't mean I love everything no matter what. But I come into everything with a genuine baseline of just good feels and good thoughts. But I did heal from hate, and there was only so far I could climb by doing that. But over time, and as I got better, I started to learn how to heal with love, and it just pushed me to new heights. It let me see things even more clearly. I spent hundreds and hundreds of days looking back at bad things that happened to me, betrayals, heartbreak, uh, why I started watching porn, the weed, nicotine, why I couldn't quit any of it, why I was trapped. I spent hundreds of nights thinking and watching back the memories and observing and analyzing. And that was the first step to killing my ego and making it reborn. But by doing it out of hate, I made the process far more slow and painful than it needed to be. So, love. Step 3, use the 999 principle. So, as you all know, I think 666 is the devil's number. So 999 represents taking all the bad things in life and flipping it into a good thing. Well, I guess I should go like that. Well, isn't it opposite for you? Shit. So would it be this? Whichever one it is going on the screen. 999 represents taking all the bad things in life and flipping it into a good thing, finding the positive in every negative. Because for every for every action, there's an equal opposite, or for every negative, there's a positive. I'm pretty sure there's a quote for it. I can't think of it. Small brain moment. But you get the idea. And this goes into what I just said about analyzing all the bad things. You go back into the memories, you go back into the experiences, you go back into the hurt, and you observe. You watch back. You find the details. You discover things about not only yourself, but the other person, about human psychology, about why you can't understand something that somebody did. You go in and you learn all the lessons possible from any experience. And it can be a good experience too, but in this case, it's the bad experience. You want to go and analyze and discover everything you can about it. And then you move on. You bring that knowledge with you into the world and you live better because of it. And instead of asking why me from pain, you start asking why out of curiosity. Curiosity kills ego because curiosity wants to learn, not defend. And another part of flipping the bad into the good is yourself. It's not only about looking at what other people did to you, it's about looking at what you do to you. What do you not like about yourself? What are you lying to yourself about? What can you not accept in yourself? What are you disingenuous about? What can you not blame yourself for? Those are the things you need to target. Step 4, move on and apply it. All of this info that you gather by going into your past and by being introspective and by looking at your own flaws and your own things that you don't like about yourself don't matter if you don't use it. If you don't apply it in the real world, then your ego is still controlling you. You're still not free from it. You're still not living with it as a tool to push you forward. You're still letting it hold you back. You need to apply lessons, move different, and break the loop. Wisdom without change is just performance. You can learn a lot of knowledge. You can learn a lot from doing this type of thing, being introspective and going back through all your memories and your hard times and learning from them on a deeper level than what's on the surface. But if you keep living the same life after learning what you learn, then what was the point? Now, maybe it's because you didn't truly heal or you didn't truly go through the steps. But if you did, maybe your ego is still just controlling you. Maybe you need to take that leap. You need to start overriding the ego, and the ego gets weaker and weaker. It's just like any sort of addiction. The more you override the ego, the more you become a different person. Or a better way to put it is your ego is written into your nervous system. So you build habits, and that becomes your basically personality or what you do. Addictions fall into this category. If you fight your habits, the ones you don't like, and you fix them, over time, those habits will go away and they'll be replaced with new ones. And that's what you're doing with the ego. You're replacing the ego. And by executing on all the information you've gathered, that's how you go from normal people, bad ego, to my ego, which drives me forward and makes me better. It makes me strive for more because I'm confident in myself, but I don't think I'm good enough right now. I think I'm good, but I can be better. There's always more. There's bigger fish in the sea, stuff of that nature. So you got to execute it. Step 5, you need to forgive. Not only the people that did you wrong, but yourself. Ego protects us. And usually when you're a very egotistical person, it's because you hate yourself or you don't like yourself in some way. And a big step in eliminating ego is learning to forgive yourself for whatever you blame yourself for. That sounds contradictory, but when you blame yourself through love, this is essentially what you're doing. You're forgiving. This is how you blame yourself through love, by forgiving and knowing that you were good enough and that no matter what happened or where you are in life, you can always get better. But you have to kill the ego so that you don't stay in the same place forever, so you keep getting better. You can hate what happened and still love what it did for you. It doesn't mean that they're right, but by forgiving, you're setting yourself free. And that's the most important thing of all. Fuck them. Whoever did you wrong, whoever hurt you, they don't matter. In the grand scheme of life, they're only important if you let them be in your brain. Once you get them out of your head, once you forgive them, and even the thought of them doesn't irk you or make you hurt or make you spiral, then you're winning. Then you're freer than you've ever been because you're not a slave to that thought anymore. You're not a slave to that person. You're not a slave to yourself. It means you're not letting pain run your life anymore. Ego holds on to feel powerful, but by letting it go, you're becoming powerful. So, ego was like your childhood guardian angel. But now it treats you like Rapunzel's mom. Be like Rapunzel. Get rid of your mom. No. Ego was your childhood's guardian angel. But now it treats you like Rapunzel's mom. It keeps you trapped in the castle or the tower of lies. Be like Rapunzel. Let it die. It's old news. If you resonate or you got value from anything I said today, I implore you to hit the subscribe button and turn on noties so you never miss a future upload. Also, if you want to know me on a more personal level, you should go check out my vlog, Joseph Marrone. Link in the description. Also, better like. I think this is going to be my outro every time. You better like and come back tomorrow.